Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. I do have one quick favor before we get to the video that you came here for, and that is very simply this. You see that little red subscribe button below this video? Go ahead, smash that subscribe button. It really does help me. It really does help this channel grow and my audience grow. So go ahead and hit that red subscribe button. And now, here is the video that you came here for. And it kind of goes back to the Kyle Trask stuff that I was talking about a minute ago. But you know, as I was kind of just thinking about college football this year, I'll tell you this, is I think that we are in the midst of maybe the best Heisman race of my lifetime. Like, it sounds kind of crazy, right? But if you kind of go through the Heisman year by year by year, it feels like most years you kind of have an idea at this point of, if not who's going to win it, at the very least, like who's like the final 2 or 3, right? Like last year, Joe Burrow, once he beats Alabama, like he's going to win the Heisman. Like so first week in November, like everyone else is playing for second place. The year Kyler Murray won it, it was Tua most of the year. It was down to Tua. Kyler comes in late, but it's kind of that two-guy race. There's nobody really behind him. And then you have other years where, whether it was, Marcus Mariota, Johnny Manziel, RG3, you just have a guy that's so much better that you know from the beginning, you know from the middle of the season that they're going to win. And so I was thinking about it this year as it pertains to I was thinking about it with Kyle Trask, but in the broader picture of, like, man, we got a really good Heisman candidate pool this year. And I was thinking about it because every team at the top seemingly has an NFL-ready quarterback. And I was just looking at the stats, and I do think it's like if you're not paying attention, the quarterback play in college football this year has been incredible, okay? What I'm just going to do is read you the stats of the best quarterbacks in college football. Kyle Trask completing 70% of his passes, 2,100 yards, 28 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Mac Jones, how about this for Mac Jones? 78% completion percentage, 12 yards per reception on average, 16 touchdowns, and that's without Jalen Waddle. Trevor Lawrence, who missed 2 games, 1,800 yards, 17 TDs, 2 interceptions, 71 yards, 71%. Zach Wilson from BYU, 75% completion percentage, 2,500 yards, 22 TDs, 2 interceptions. And Justin Fields, who's only played 3 games, already 11 touchdowns, 86% completion percentage. Like, guys, I remember a time not too long ago, if a quarterback completed like 67, 68% of his passes, that guy was incredible. Now you have Justin Fields, I know it's only through 3 games, 86% completion. Trevor Lawrence, 71%. Kyle Trask, 70%. Zach Wilson, 75%. Mac Jones, 78%. And it's not as though they're going against bad defenses. It's not as though they're going, they're making easy short throws. I mean, Kyle Trask is throwing the ball all over the field. Same with Zach Wilson. Same with Mac Jones. It is incredible. And so I'm really excited. One, I have no idea who's going to win the Heisman. Is Justin Fields going to get in enough games? Is Trevor Lawrence going to get in enough games? What happens if Mac Jones and Kyle Trask go head-to-head? Zach Wilson, I don't think he'll win it, but I hope that we at least acknowledge him. But I do think it speaks to something else beyond the Heisman being an incredible kind of follow this year, is that I do think beyond that, I think it proves something that I've been saying for a while, and I don't know if I've ever said it on this podcast. I've said it a lot. I've said it a lot in, radio interviews and things like that. But college football, I believe, is increasingly becoming a quarterback-driven sport, right? And like we talk about the NFL, it's like the NFL is quarter. If you don't have Aaron Rodgers or you don't have Patrick Mahomes or you don't have Lamar Jackson or Russell Wilson, you can't win it all. And I've talked about it with Georgia, so I guess I have talked about it on this show. But I think increasingly we're seeing, like, if you don't have that dude at quarterback in college, you can't win either. Think about last year. Think about the playoff. You had Joe Burrow, eventual first number 1 overall draft pick. Trevor Lawrence is going to be the number 1 pick in this year's draft, last year's playoff. Justin Fields might be the number 2 overall pick, would be the number 1 overall pick in a lot of seasons. Year before, Alabama beats Clemson. Trevor Lawrence versus Tua. Oklahoma makes the playoff with Kyler Murray, number 1 overall pick. And I just think now, if you look at the sport of college football, if you don't have that guy at quarterback, you just can't do it. Look at the top of the sport right now. Number 1, Alabama, Mac Jones. I don't know how he transitions as an NFL guy, but man, is he getting it done at the college level. Clemson, obviously, with Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields at Ohio State. But then, I mentioned Kyle Trask at Florida. Texas A&M, I don't think Kellen Mond is a Heisman candidate, but he's having by far his best season as a college quarterback. 16 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he looks like a completely different player the last few weeks. And as I mentioned, BYU's ranked really high with Zach Wilson. And then you go to the flip side. Who are some of the more disappointing teams in college football? Michigan can't figure out their quarterback. Georgia can't beat the good teams because they don't have a quarterback. Penn State don't think they have a difference maker at quarterback. LSU shuffling quarterbacks left and right. And so I just think it's incredible. I think it speaks to the evolution of college football. I think it speaks to the fact that we are going to have a great Heisman race down the stretch.